Hola, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos a esta edición especial de Tribulaciones. ¿Por qué le digo que es especial? Porque fuimos a Santiago de Chile en el mes de junio a cubrir el recital de Wilco en el Teatro La Cúpula, ubicado en el Parque O'Higgins, un lugar muy bonito para conocer. El recital fue impresionante, como todos los que hace habitualmente Wilco, duró más de 2 horas y media con un sonido perfecto. Más allá de eso, hicimos una entrevista exclusiva a Nels Cline, el guitarrista de la banda, una gran estrella realmente, que además presentaba un nuevo proyecto, Concentric Quartet, de eso hablamos también. Y nos contó los 21 años junto a Wilco, su relación justo a Jeff Tweedy y los músicos que está escuchando actualmente, quiénes son sus preferidos y qué música escucha en su casa, por ejemplo. Una nota muy interesante, muy divertida. Entonces vamos a poder ver la entrevista y además fragmentos del recital que dieron en la Cúpula, como les decía, donde elegí quizás los temas más clásicos como Jesus, Company in My Back, y también temas más nuevos como Evicted, y el primer tema que sacaron, el primer disco, se llama Wilco, donde hay un tema llamado Full Box Letter, una versión muy linda que hicieron. Entonces, disfruten esto, y de paso les digo que suscríbanse a nuestro canal Tribulaciones TV y denos un like si les gustó este programa, que nos ayudan también para que el algoritmo lo recomiende a más gente. Debo agradecer a Guillermo Italiani, el productor de Chile, que nos invitó, nos dio el hotel y nos dejó hacer la entrevista, nos permitió entrar al camarín y bueno, estar con la banda. Fue un momento muy, muy lindo. Y también a un asistente, Melanie Núñez, que hizo las cámaras para nosotros. Bueno, muchísimas gracias y nos veremos. Suerte. Chau, chau.
New afternoon, and now they're puking. Well, I'm moving so slow, steady crushing hand. Holy shit, they pull me in my back. I'm moving so slow, steady crushing hand. Holy shit, they pull me in my back. Hide your soft skin, yes, always sunshine. Listen to my eyes. Hide your soft skin, yes, always sunshine. Listen to my eyes. They're hissing radiator. Oh, I'm moving so slow, steady crushing hand. Holy shit, they call me in my back. I'm moving so slow, steady crushing hand. Holy shit, they call me in my back.
Bueno, aquí estamos junto a Nels Cline. Esta es una producción especial de Tribulaciones aquí en Santiago de Chile, previo al concierto de Wilco esta noche en el Teatro La Cúpula. Hi Nels, how are you?
Hello, I am fine. A little bit of a cold, but I'm okay. Everybody in Wilco and Wilco crew seems to have a little bit of a cold, but otherwise great. Happy to be here.
Tell me about what do you feel 20 years from Wilco?
Well, it doesn't seem like it took 21 years. It's 21 years, yes, March 2004. It does not seem like that long, okay? We still enjoy what we do, and we get along, and so I don't see any end to it until I die, I suppose. Still growing, I think, Jeff's always writing so many songs, and he has 2 bands now that keep up with all his composing. He has Tweedy and he has Wilco, and I think that they're different in subtle ways. His writing is always kind of varied, but Wilco, I think, brings the power.
Different, no, of the audience of the jazz, no, the jazz people.
I feel lucky though, because I feel that by playing in Wilco, which was never part of a plan of mine, it was very much an accident. the audience for my own music, which I guess you could call jazz music, is much bigger. I think because Wilco audience is interested in what I do sometimes, and they like guitar. A lot of people like guitar. That's very lucky for me. So maybe my audience for the kind of music I play is maybe twice as big as it would be if I was not in Wilco, or if I was a horn player, or a bassoonist. So I feel lucky in that regard, and I also think it's cool to be able to expose anyone who is curious enough to check out my music to the aesthetics and the choices that I make in my own music, which are very different from rock, or country or folk music for the most part.
You will back again. And I'll still be your friend. I've got a lot of your records in a separate stack. Some things that I might like to hear, and I guess I'll get them back. I wish I had a lot of answers. That's the way it should be. But all these questions have directed me. I just came out of town to write my mind the way I wanted to read. You'll come back again. And I'll still be your friend. Came out of town to write my mind the way I wanted to read.
Tell about your solo career, about the new project, Concentric Quartet. Will be the confluence of the last project, Nels Cline Singers, or the other album solos? Is different? Is a confluence, or is total new?
I think it's a confluence, honestly. It does sound more jazz-like because, of course, now we have saxophone in the music, which I also added to the Nels Cline Singers with Skerrick on saxophone. But with Concentric Quartet, it's a different palette in that it's not so electric, even though it's still me playing electric guitar, with Chris Lightcap on the acoustic bass and Tom Rainey on drums and Ingrid Laubrock on the saxophones. The sound is much more modest. It's not so huge. It's not so electric, as I said. But the compositional aspect it's just kind of what I do. I just kind of write the way I write. I don't really think too much about where I'm going with the composition or with a band until we start playing together, and maybe I make some changes. In the case of Concentric Quartet, the music started out in my mind as being more modest. The palette of the sound would be less intense, a little less extreme, a little less electric. And then as we started playing together, it sort of started drifting more in the direction of me playing a little bit more distorted guitar, a little bit more looping, things that I initially thought I would not do with Concentric Quartet, that we would be quieter, more abstract, and but then I write tunes with riffs and grooves, and then off we go. We're still kind of rocking out, but so that's why I think it's a confluence. I'm not just shifting gears into a whole new world.
More jazz critics tell about is the influence of Ornette Coleman. Is possible? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that there are many influences. I mean, I could go on and on about influences, but when I hear the sound of electric guitar and tenor saxophone, for example, with acoustic bass and drums and a what you might call jazz rhythm section sound, it calls to mind all kinds of groups besides those of Ornette Coleman. The sound of the tenor saxophone and the electric guitar are very similar sometimes, and and all the times I've been listening to this combination, I think of, say, John Scofield and Joe Lovano many years ago, fantastic quartets that they did together. The sound of Bill Frisell with Joe Lovano and Paul Motian, that classic trio. And John Abercrombie with Mike Brecker, all this kind of, the sound is all in my head, but it wasn't why I started playing with saxophone. It was just that I wanted to play with Ingrid because she's amazing, and she's married to Tom Rainey, so I thought maybe she'd want to play with me in the band with her husband, and I just feel very lucky because she's so busy. She's really, really doing a lot of intense music and playing with so many different people. Everybody in the band is really, but she's very, very busy. So I feel really lucky to just try to address the possibilities of music with this combination of people, and we're really enjoying it. I think I also hear an influence on the record compositionally of, certainly this piece called Allende on the piece is much like many ballads from this part of the world, and also music by Paul Motian in his record Tribute and Conception Vessel, and music of Charlie Hayden, Liberation Music Orchestra. And then some of the other pieces, there's kind of an Ornette thing and maybe a Coltrane thing, here and there. But that's almost unavoidable, right? That music is so important. It's just everywhere, and it's way in my head.
The new project was Concentric Quartet, new album. Are you composing the new tunes?
Yeah, it's all my music. Yeah. I wrote most of it during lockdown pandemic time. Like so many people, I guess, wrote a lot of music in that period. I didn't write a lot of music, but I wrote more than half the compositions on Concentric Quartet during that time.
New album next year. New album is possible.
I hope so. Yeah, I have to write more music though. I do have some new ideas. And I also want to do more with the singers, because the singers still exist. We did our first live concert with Scarrick and, well, he couldn't use Brian Marcella because his wife was about to have a baby any day. This was at Big Ears Festival in Knoxville, Tennessee. That was our first gig ever with Scarrick. After 4 years, you know, of not being, well, there was the pandemic. That's when Share the Wealth came out. It was during lockdown. And then nobody could we could never make the same dates, like every year after year, like what are your available times? Like nothing lined up. So we had the one this year at Big Ears, and I'm hoping to do more with that group also. But Wilco is also very busy, so I just try to figure it out. I have some concentric work coming up, so I'm excited about that. It's also hard to schedule those guys with my schedule. Well, we're working on that.
Yeah, I hope that you arrive into Buenos Aires this year, if possible, with Concentrics.
I'll come to Buenos Aires anytime. Anytime I can. It'll be a happy thing.
Yes, I remember your last gig with Nels Cline Singers 10 years ago, no, 15 years ago, with Yuga Honda.
My wife. Yeah, she was our guest keyboards. That was really fun.
I brought Yuka with Miko Hattori with Sibo Mato. Yeah, it was an amazing gig too.
Saxophone started blowing me down. I was big sound. Taxi cabs are driving me around. To the handshake drugs I bought downtown. Handshake drugs I bought downtown. They were translated poorly. I felt like a clown. I looked like someone I used to know. I felt alright. If I ever was myself, I wasn't that night. It's okay for you to say what you want from me. I believe that's the only way for me to be exactly what you want me to be. It's okay for you to say what you want from me. I believe that's the only way for me to be.
Regarding the guitar players, what your favorite guitars in jazz and rock for you?
How much time do we have? You know, this is always a hard question, because as soon as we're done, I'm going to think of 20 more. You know, when I started out, my main inspiration to play guitar was Jimi Hendrix. But even before Jimi Hendrix, I was very interested in the Byrds. So at that time, it was Jim McGuinn. He changed his name to Roger McGuinn, but he's very important guitarist for me. But then moving forward in the rock world, going way back to when I was, you know, very young, I was listening to, you know, Duane Allman and Dickie Betts and Johnny Winter and later Peter Banks with Yes and Flash and Steve Howe and Robert Fripp. And then eventually John McLaughlin, Wes Montgomery, Jim Hall, George Benson, Fred Frith is very important in my development, not just as a regular guitar player, but as an experimental musician and composer. You know, I love John Dietrich and Ed Rodriguez from the band Deerhoof, very important. Alan Sparhawk from Low, Sonic Youth certainly, Lee Ronaldo, Thurston Moore really changed the way I thought about a lot of sound with guitar and ways to use the electric guitar. I'm going to stop there because I'm just going to feel bad later about all the guitarists that I forgot to mention, but there are some that I play with that are friends of mine. They're very inspiring to me as well, like Julian Lodge, Elliot Sharp, Ava Mendoza, Mary Halverson, Jeff Parker. We like playing together, we guitarists, you know. I don't know why, but I play with a lot of other guitar players, and I love playing with Jeff and Patrick and Wilco. You know, when we do 3 guitars, it's a beautiful sound to me. So I always more guitars. You know, I like 2 or 3. It's always better than 1. You know.
Okay. Yes. Well, thank you very much. I enjoy Chile, the last gig in the tour. All the people waiting for your solo in possible Germany.
I don't know how that became such a thing, but it's a thing. It's I try not to think about it too much. Every night I try to do something sort of different and fresh with that song, but it's just a weird, it's a phenomenon that I don't quite comprehend. I don't know how it happened, but it became a thing. And so, off we go, you know. I hope I can come back and stay longer in South America in general. And it's a very important place for me for music. Here in Chile, the music of the late 60s, early 70s with Victor Jara and Inti Illimani and Quilapayún, very important to me, Violeta Parra. And in Buenos Aires, so I'm an Astor Piazzolla man. In fact, I realized later that on the Concentric Quartet album, the first song is called The Returning Angel. It's a kind of an introduction song, you know, just to get us into. The first melody is the same melody of an Astor Piazzolla composition, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's that's right out of Astor Piazzolla, but I didn't remember until I wrote it, and now it's too late to change it. But very important, and of course Brazil is epically important.
Hermeto Pasquale, one of the time.
Yes,
I think.
Well, in Hermeto, I first became aware of Hermeto hearing Live Evil by Miles Davis, because there are these pieces of his like little church, and I was like, what is this, you know? And I worked in a record store in Los Angeles, where I'm from, for like 10 years, starting in 1976, and everybody had Hermeto records in the record bins, because they were being distributed like so much creative music at that time. You could find it. And so that's how I heard so much music like Baden Powell and Hermeto and Bolasete, and then eventually I found the Tropicalia artists, you know, the so-called Tropicalia, you know, Caetano and everybody. And then, of course, Os Mutantes, whatever, they're from a different planet. But anyway, thank you so much.
No, thank you. Bueno, estuvimos con Nels Cline aquí, gran amigo de Tribulaciones.